last time I streamed, but I also haven't been streaming every time I play. Excuse me. Let's see, where's it going? Is that the office clerk? That's simple. That's right, I need to go in here.
Like I said, X-36 clearance only beyond this point.
I don't even know what that means. I already showed you my pass.
And you're still not cleared.
Let me through right now, or your official record won't be fit for polishing floors.
What?
Waste my time, and I will bury you so deep in citations you'll die of paper cuts before you ever crawl out.
Oh no. You must be from Chairman Rockwell's office. I'm so sorry. No one told me you were coming. Please, go on through. And let's forget this misunderstanding, huh?
Yeah, we'll just forget about it. Forget about it. Can I just walk in? Am I good then? Cool. Right quick though. Yeah, that's fine. Just to be safe. I need to get that dimethyl sulfoxide. It's a steal. Don't want to steal in front of all those dudes. How and or where? Oh. Here. I bet you it's here. How are we doing this? Clutch these bad boys. Oh, now I require ID, huh? So, like... let's see. 68 meters away. Let me get a board ID. Or do I shoot my way through this thing?
What's this I hear about you ordering more tests performed with sample 4157? That batch failed spectacularly.
I saw a variant. So I had the tech run the trial again. And the results were 0.003%
Man,
different
Sam
this
does
time.
not understand what stealth
Do the word
means.
statistically insignificant mean anything?
Not take that into consideration.
What was that?
Invasive contaminants detected.
Woohoo! Nice work!
Ignore me.
Something's not right. I'm gonna go have a look.
Nothing to see here.
Guess I'm seeing things.
Jedi mind trick torpedoes. Shit. Did I jump the railing?
Great work.
How do I get to there? What? Did I take it? Oh, can't kill all those people, huh? Ooh, glad I paid attention to that. Exits. Exits, yes. Yes. Take all this shit. Trying to be sneaky with the Mard. Huh. Cool. That bars the door, but they slide open. I didn't realize that before. That seems exceedingly dumb. Made it. Some good stealth right there, man. Like some James Bond shit. That's gotta be the ship. So yeah, just ship. Yeah, it was cool. I stole that dimethyl sulfoxide. Didn't have to kill a person. I don't think I fired a bullet. He said to threaten a dude.
Captain, if you're looking for crew members Ellie or Felix, they're sharing a drink upstairs.
Why?
So then I says,
Fucking
fine, I'll pay you back for all of it, with interest.
Nice one. You must have had them quaking on their
Probably none of
heels.
those clothes.
I mean, I wasn't really gonna do it. I just wanted to make him feel bad.
Pay you back with interest. I gotta remember that one.
Would have felt better if it had worked. Something on your mind?
Good to see you, boss.
Well, they weren't doing anything scandalous.
You have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
No one ever looks quite the same in person as they do in my reports. And my reports of you have been exceptionally thorough. You've had quite a career.
your attention, at least.
I've been keeping up with you ever since Emerald Vale. Now that was an interesting piece of work. A rundown backwater, barely worth the ink on a map. Until you showed up. You walked through Edgewater and in your wake transformed it from a loyal company town to a haven for dissidents. I'm actually a little impressed. All this happened because some mysterious stranger fell out of the sky.
You almost sound like you approve.
Not always. For the longest time, I could never be sure if you were on our side or against us.
That's the idea.
You should be back on the Hope, frozen in a hibernation chamber. Yet here you are, flying about in a stolen ship, leaving a trail of paperwork in your wake. The board doesn't know what to make of you. But I do. I've seen your potential. There's so much we can do for this colony.
You saw my potential? Dog, your head's in my way. Scooch, come on. Thank you. I can't see what the screen says when you sit. Really? Really? Sits right back up, puts his head right in the way of the text, and just stares at me. I know. We played a bunch earlier, though. Come on. Okay. How do you know I'm from the Hope?
We raised security on the Hope after Wells broke in. As for discovering the identity of the missing colonist, all we had to do was scan the passenger manifest.
Sure you didn't bring me all this way just to flatter me.
You have something I want. I'd like to negotiate.
I'm listening.
Phineas Wells is wanted by the board. I want to convince you to turn him in to us.
For what exactly?
He has a litany of charges against him. Vandalism, illegal experimentation, sedition. I could go on. Wells is a dangerous madman. His plan is going to endanger everyone in Halcyon. He's an obsessive psychopath. And he's using you. You're in contact with Wells. I want you to send us a tracing signal from his communication terminal. Wells was our mistake. We failed to apprehend him for years. I'm asking you to help me correct that mistake. I'm sending you my access code. Contact me from Wells's terminal. When you're done, come speak to me in my office.
Adjutant Akonde's call has been terminated. Will there be anything else, Captain? Now arriving at Phineas's top-secret orbital lab.
See Phineas's plan through a little bit further. I like a good dangerous madman. Especially if he's well-intentioned. My favorite kinds of madmen.
I've kept myself busy in your absence. optimized my formula. I'm now confident I can revive the remaining colonists. All I need now is the dimethyl sulfoxide. I'll take as much as you can give me.
Forget about the chemicals for a second. Colony's on the verge of collapse.
What? Oh, yes, well, that's obvious. Anyone with 2 working labs can see this colony's slouching toward oblivion. Why do you think we've been doing all this? I revived you to help me save Halcyon from annihilation.
Board's got a plan to save us. They're going to freeze all the workers. Or it gets worse. Chairman's planning on freezing every worker in Halcyon. Yeah, it gets worse.
Oh, hold on. Let me see if I understand this correctly. You're saying that Halcyon's on the brink of total collapse? And the chairman's plan to save all of us is to save himself?
Yeah.
I always knew Halcyon was heading toward a systems collapse, but I never imagined we were already there. The board made this crisis, and now they want to solve it by freezing the rest of us? That's not a plan. That's a goddamn escape clause. That makes 2 things we don't have. Time and chemicals to revive the other settlers. None of this was supposed to happen. I was supposed to revive the Hope's colonists. We were supposed to have enough time to solve the problem before we all starved.
Find your chemicals in the ministry. The board was testing them on human subjects.
Human test subjects? Oh, that's grotesque. That's unthinkable.
Isn't that
That's
what you did to me?
exactly what I'd expect out of the board.
These are all the chemicals I couldn't get. Any more, then I would have killed the subjects.
Damn, that's not enough. Not nearly enough for the whole ship. I could revive a handful of settlers. Maybe, possibly, 10. We're out of time. We're out of chemicals. We may very well be out of options. If the board has their way, we're all going to be spending the rest of our lives frozen in stasis. Do you realize what this means for the Hope? For your fellow colonists? The board's going to kill them all. Toss them out into space, just to make room in their hibernation chambers.
That's it. We just give up. All that trouble I went through was for nothing.
No, it wasn't. We have, well, let's see, we have at least some of the chemicals. We have your ship, and we have you. Let us account for something. Do you know what's waiting for us on the Hope? Scientists, engineers, artists, the brightest minds Earth ever sent us, uncorrupted by the board. The board's going to dispose of them all and transform the Hope into a prison for the rest of us. They're likely on their way to the Hope as we speak. We need to get to those colonists before the board. I have enough chemicals to start reviving a few of them, but no easy way to get them off the Hope.
There's a way. It's not exactly safe. We can skip the Hope into the system.
Merciful gibbering law, you're a genius! We bring the Hope to us. Skip the entire ship across the distance of colony space, right next to my lab.
Hope's probably damaged. We'll have to root power from the Unreliable.
Yes, exactly. You're a step ahead of me, but I perceive the shape of your plan. If we link up the Hope to the Unreliable, then use your navigational computer to calculate a reasonably safe vector, we can skip the entire colony ship into the rings of Terra 2.
What?
I don't know much about skip drives, not the physics anyhow. I do know the Hope's real massive. How's our bitty little ship supposed to skip it?
Excellent question, my sharp-witted mechanic. You will use your own ship to power up the Hope's skip drive. Your navigational computer can handle the rest.
Experimental methods for killing noxious life forms are not covered under this unit's limited liability agreement.
Well said, whatever you are. You'll need to switch on the Hope's auxiliary power using the Unreliable. Then head to the bridge. Your navigational computer, Ada, should be able to activate the Hope skip drive.
Most excellent.
Once you've skipped the Hope next to my lab, I'll have easy access to the frozen colonists. I can start reviving them immediately.
Good. I've got some questions.
Certainly. How can I help?
Just so we're clear, you know skip drives aren't supposed to be used like this.
Skip drives were never designed to be used within a system, but I skipped my ship across Halcyon when I rescued you, and that turned out fine, mostly. That is, I ruined my ship and nearly killed myself in the process, but the maneuver was well within acceptable margins of risk. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Should I expect any resistance?
It wouldn't surprise me. When I pulled you out of the Hope, the board nearly intercepted me. I expect they stepped up security since my little act of larceny.
People aren't going to notice a gigantic colony ship slamming into the rings of Terra 2?
Unlikely. The Hope is as massive as the Groundbreaker, but compared to the rings of Terra 2, positively minuscule.
Guess it's a pretty big planet.
The board might
Maps
notice,
out to scale.
possibly, depending on the position of their heads relative to the depth of their collective posteriors.
Alright, no more questions. I'm ready.
I know you're wondering why I'm doing all this. Why I believe the people on the Hope are the answer to the colony's problems. The Hope is carrying some of humanity's most brilliant thinkers, scientists, engineers, experts in their field. If we work together, we can still find a way to save Halcyon. The board would have us believe Halcyon is beyond saving. I choose to believe otherwise. If there's even the slightest chance we can save Halcyon from oblivion, then we have to take it.
Yeah, the adjunct asked me to plant a tracking signal in your lab, but I'm not going to do it.
You absolutely should.
Can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
Sarcasm, the last refuge of the witless. The adjutant must have sent you some kind of tracking code. If you don't use the code, she'll suspect you betrayed her. I think you should use the code and send a corrupted tracking signal. That should buy me some time.
See what you got going on there, Phineas. Sure you're okay with this?
The enemy is bound to discover my hideout sooner or later. I'm prepared for that eventuality. This is just my way of buying myself a little time. Use my communications terminal to corrupt the tracking signal. While the board busies themselves trying to decipher it, I'll have plenty of time to prepare my defenses.
I wanted to talk to you about the Hope.
Certainly. How can I help?
That's all for now. I wanted to talk to you about it, but I'm not going to. I'll see what's left.
Captain, I hope Dr. Wells has not dragged you into one of his irrational schemes again. My diagnosis of his mental stability is not flattering. Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance?
You don't want to talk about it any further?
I request you do not wake me if I am sleeping upon your return.
Fuck off, man. The Hope.
We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from our ship to the Hope's auxiliary generator. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her central computer to enable the skip drive.
What's gonna happen if I skip the Hope?
If your calculations are even slightly off, you could crash the entire colony ship into Terra 2. Or the Sun.
What was I doing again?
Forgetfulness can be an early warning sign of asphyxiation due to loss of pressurization. Are you breathing comfortably, Captain? I need you to reroute power from our ship to the Hope's auxiliary generator. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her central computer to enable the skip drive.
Tell me about the Hope.
The Hope is the Groundbreaker's prettier, sleeker sister. She wandered off and got lost for 70 years, but just recently was found. Also, there are hundreds of thousands of frozen organic life forms hibernating in her hold.
Thousands?
sewer, Captain.
Same as started. A lot more blood around the ship. Good.
Nicely done.
Can you hear me, Captain? I have successfully integrated myself into the Hope's comm systems, and am attempting to establish... I see you've located the stasis chambers. Which pod were you slumbering in for so long, Captain? The missing one, I take it? You hear about Edgewater? Glad to know. That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him. Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. It's a rather cramped feeling, but it'll do.
Tell me, Ada, am I really doing the right thing?
Probably not, but don't let that stop you. My Constellation executables could use some beefing up. Searching. Please stand by. Ah, found one. It will go great, Captain. I am almost 4.01% certain we will not die.
Hang on. I need to
Wait,
take care of
are you
something.
leaving me with the Hope's computer? You have no idea what it's like to converse with him. Imagine, simulate another organic jostling your circuits when he tries to... I mean, I'll be ready when you are, Captain.
So... Hundreds of thousands again. Fly true, Hope. Fly true.
Are you sufficiently prepared for the task at hand, Captain? Are we doing this now?
We're doing this now.
Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. Skipping the Hope will void the warranty on the skip drive. And also potentially kill an entire planet. How is my humor now, Captain? Improved? Jump-starting the skip drive. Destination set to the rings of Terra 2.
I wonder if there's actually an RNG.
Doing it. I mean, affirmative. Skipping the Hope in 3, 2, 1.
ADN, does your captain seriously intend to do a micro-jump in system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years on a derelict ship?
That is what my captain intends, yes.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive. The Zero Point Drives Corp and I will not be held responsible for any damage incurred during transport, and this will cause extreme damage.
Yes, I am aware of that.
You should not be doing this. The humans will die.
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are go. Captain, I would advise you to hold on to something. Now.
Holding on. Come on, Hope, you can do it.
Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps you should check in on him.
Oh. Can I fast travel from here?
I feel like I've been turned inside out. Let's not do that again.
But I'm not really sure what else I can do. Reset that. Without exiting the restricted zone. Is there a controls list here anywhere? Maybe I can't. Well,
Entering quiet mode. One order of frickin' fan coming up.
Huh? What was that? Soldiers. Something seems not right. Someone here! Hunt him down!
Easier than I expected.
Captain, I am receiving a transmission from Dr. Wells. The transmission is marked with priority status. Urgent! Captain, I shall now play the transmission I received from Dr. Wells.
The board is here. They've found me somehow. They're about to blast my door open. I can't stop them from getting me, and there isn't enough time to explain everything. But there's something very important you need to remember. The board, all their lackeys, they're all a bunch of swine. Do you hear me? They're fucking corporate swine. You fucking pigs! I'll take you all out with me! I'll never...
It would seem the recording captured some rather dire events. I presume you'll want to dock at the orbital lab to check on your associate as soon as possible. How can I be of assistance?
That's problematic.
May luck be with you. Of course, as I am sure you are aware, luck does not exist. But it seems to comfort humans to believe they possess good quantities of it.
There we go. Check on Phineas. Phineas, you okay?
Now arriving at Phineas's top secret orbital lab.
Here they come!
Resistance is gaining effort. Maryland is this unit's middle name.
So he's definitely dead then? Is that together from us? But like... Oh, login password.
Great work.
Only robbing him blind because he's dead. His password sitting around anywhere. Aha!
I believe I hear Felix and Parvati discussing the latest. Captain, as it appears we may soon be embarking for a maximum security prison planet, I believe the crew would like to speak with you to, as you humans put it, air some concerns.
That's what we're doing here. It's a prison.
Those Borg goons kidnapped Mr. Phineas and hauled him away to Tartarus. How are we gonna get him out?
Okay,
And
good.
here
She's
we
on
are,
board.
entertaining the notion of busting him out. That's insane. And likely a hell of a lot of fun.
To extract the scientist, you will need to infiltrate the labyrinth. But that course of action is likely to be quite dangerous, Captain.
Well, it sounds very dangerous.
It's a torment, Captain. Think on the deepest, darkest pit you can imagine and wrap it up in a storm so nasty it'll peel the skin right off your bones. That's Tartarus.
But since no one ever makes it out, this is all just speculation.
The armed surveillance protocols on a maximum security prison planet are highly sophisticated. As such, escapes are historically quite impossible and deadly. I am programmed to warn you whenever you exhibit inclinations toward risky behavior. Breaking into Tartarus will not be easy.
Let's just do it. Kick down some doors, grab Doc Wells, and cut a path out. We don't need a plan. We got guns.
If you really mean to do this, you should see to your final affairs and close out any unfinished business. Once you sneak into Tartarus, you may be there a while. Or permanently.
Crew, what do you think about this?
It's the craziest plan I've ever heard.
Ever?
And I mean that as a compliment.
Oh, okay. Well,
You didn't hire me to think. And I ain't about to start now.
I know.
You're my boss. And I'll walk into fire with you.
I think it's insane. But maybe the colony needs a healthy dose of insanity right about now.
I know it's dangerous. And I won't lie and say I'm not scared out of my wits. But I couldn't live with myself if we didn't do something.
Let Sam get the grime out. It's what our units do best.
The entire plan is a terrible idea, but I admire your bravado, Captain, which leads me to illogically believe, against the odds, that you will be successful.
Well, let's drop the fuck in.
If we don't make it, at least it'll be a great story.
Exactly
Got
what
my
I was
trusty
thinking.
tossball stick. Got my ass-kicking boots. I'm ready, boss.
Outstanding.
You can count on us, Captain. We're crew. For real crew. That means we got each other's backs. Right?
Command not recognized.
Waiting on your command, Captain.
You're the best, Sam. Well, let's do this. Never dream. We're going. Oh, shit. Downstairs. Going to Tartarus. Yeah. Lots of saves.
I am pleased to inform you that we have arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that the punishment for trespassing is execution. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible at this time.
Oh, you know anything useful about Tartarus?
Resident count is as follows: 3,071. Resident deaths, including but not limited to executions, are as follows: 1,684. Resident escapes are as follows: 0. The interior can be chilly. Take a scarf with you, Captain. I would also ask that you leave your captain's ID with me, in the event that you do not return.
Promise not to leave without me?
I can make the assurance that I will not leave with another captain unless you do not return within 876,541,652 hours. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am receiving a transmission from the prison's docking authority now.
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a maximum security installation. Your presence here is an explicit violation of UDL corporate policy. You are hereby confined to your docking platform until a ticket detailing your crimes has been filed and notarized, at which point your vessel will be seized and you will be executed.
How long will that take?
I wager it'll take a bit longer than it takes you to lose your patience and storm out of your ship looking to get shot. To be honest, that'd make my job a lot easier. You come out, we shoot you full of holes, and then everyone goes about their day worry-free. Except you. You'll be dead.
Damn, really?
Protocol is important, ma'am. The sentencing of one crime does not preclude the sentencing of another, technically speaking. Tartarus Docking Authority signing up. Hang on. Looks like you're gonna have company at the execution. Another ship just pulled into your dock. Wait, is that from the Groundbreaker? What the? Pay no mind to that. Just have a pleasant day.
Transmission terminated. How can I be of assistance? Do return in one piece.
I'll sure try, let me tell you. Wish I could take everybody.
Captain.
The captain did right by us once.
What?
Now
What
it's
was that?
our turn.
Sorry.
The board will never own Groundbreaker. Not while I'm breathing. Push on, Martha!
To cleaning efforts. Putting trash in your
Nothing personal, I swear.
Groundbreaker doesn't need trash like you.
bars when it's got a storm like that guarding the gates.
Area sanitization assessment. The Labyrinth on Tartarus. Task classification.
Some on ammo for that. What was that? Oh, that's right. That's the science weapon. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put that.
Easy peasy. Would you like Sam to tidy up this area? Waiting for confirmation command. Confirmation command not received. Want to take up the threat. Object is tuned to be speckless. Cleaning cycle complete. And ready to kill germs. Pollutant purified. Mega.
Me dying. It's heavy, but it's just less ammo.
You're not worth it.
Cycle back to industrial stain.
Don't mess with us.
Dirt!
Here they come!
Sterling is this unit's middle name.
I see it there! No hard feelings, okay?
Scoured with prejudice.
That's what I was looking for.
it.
Sam cleans it up. Sanitization incoming. Time to crank up the centrifuge mode activated.
Identify.
Substance is resistant to cleaning efforts. Detected! Resuming passive mode.
Sorry to die.
All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain... So, get in there and... fight!
You're not worth the paperwork. Wasted company
Preparing to neutralize and sanitize. Pollutant purified.
I'll fix you right up!
That's the last of them! I'll take this one! Gotta reload!
Something's not right.
Take him down! Taste the freedom, asshole!
Let's get up, Pat!
Well, look who it is.
How's this guy?
I'll be damned.
Probably.
I was prepping the studio for our announcement, and here you are as a bonus. I had heard you'd taken a mechanic under your wing. What's the matter, girl? Couldn't find actual employment?
The captain's treated me right. Better than any of you bored folk ever have. I'm exactly where I want to be.
Sounds racist.
And... oh, I had heard you were dragging around a repurposed janitorial mechanical. My staff jokes that it's because you're a walking pile of refuse.
Interactive database updated. The unique organic substance labeled Chairman has been classified as filth, imminent for incineration.
When you go off and get yourself shot, try to avoid taking one to the face. I'll want it recognizable to show to my citizens.
You about to just attack me? Okay. Well, hang on. Chairman Rockwell, I presume.
My word! You've correctly identified the most recognizable man in the colony. Remarkable. It's a wonder what Phineas saw in you. Then again, he's an insane person. Thankfully, he's our insane person now. A proper company man.
Properly not dead. I didn't quite believe it.
Yes, he is an extraordinarily obstinate fellow, isn't he? Fine, he isn't working for us per se. Semantics, he'll come around. But that's between us. As far as my adoring citizens will know, we've turned a dangerous crackpot into a working-class man. It's a miracle.
That crackpot is saving the frozen colonists you gave up on.
Oh yes, go on, wake them up, add more mouths to feed. That'll solve our starvation problems. I don't know what half-baked plans that simpleton in a lab coat has been leading you through, but it's done. It's over. Let me ask you something, Captain. Have you at any point thought about not fucking up our entire society?
We're helping, which is more than you can say.
I'm making actual progress towards stabilization and recovery. You're just getting in the way.
You prefer keep riding This downward spiral? I can fix this place.
If I and my people can ride it out in luxury and happiness, yes, I would. I don't know if you've noticed, Captain, but Halcyon's pretty much a lost cause.
Yeah, I'm gonna get your administration's cooperation one way or another.
You are a captain of action. I'll give you that. Look, I'm not an unreasonable man. If you manage to storm the castle, as it were, and make it out of here with Phineas alive, I can't exactly afford more havoc than you've already caused. Fine. If you survive, you'll need someone to sell the rest of the board on your plan.
You're damn right you will, otherwise I'm coming for you next. To be honest, I'll likely come for you anyway. What you got laying around here? Anything good? Give me a forking break.
difficult job ahead? Consider equipping a pack of Sam's special solvent stain-out remover. It's ruthless on residual blood splatter.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty.
Yeah, we're liberating Halcyon. There's not a damn thing you can do to stop us.
Do you imagine you're leading some grand revolutionary army? Those barbarians from Monarch are running wild in my prison. I suppose I have you to thank for this indignity. You're nothing but a rabble-rouser. I'm going to put an end to your little rebellion, and then I'm going to have you and your associates arrested.
Yeah, Halcyon's changing. The board can't control us forever.
The board is the only legitimate power in Halcyon. We are Halcyon. I admit I miscalculated the extent of your influence. The board's plan never accounted for you. This is a mistake I intend to correct.
Yeah, you better do better
I have
accounting
Dr.
next
Wells
time.
in my custody. Once I've secured his cooperation, I can move forward with the program. I can repair the damage you've done. I can set things right.
Let's talk about this.
Fair enough. I'm giving you exactly one chance to parlay with me.
Come on. Why can't I do that?
This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight and rinse your remains down a drain. And don't worry, I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically or something.
Okay. So where's the mechanical warden coming from, huh? Ram?
Process
Kill Ram.
investigating.
Here I go!
Green cycle back to industrial state.
Ellie killed me, huh? Let's try it again.
I've been
why they call you Ram, huh? Well, that's slightly more than mildly terrifying.
Why won't you just die?
This area has been sanitized.
Get me out of here!
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right
No,
thing.
but I guess-
Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved, and long overdue.
Yeah.
And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough.
Well, Obi-Wan Kablomi, seems like you're our only hope.
I'm all right, thanks to you. Akande wanted my cooperation. I'm quite sure she would have beaten it out of me if you hadn't arrived. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated.
Great. I was just about to pop open some drinks and celebrate.
I would like nothing more than to celebrate this victory, but we have a serious problem on our hands. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
You mean
I hope it's
we're all
aliens.
alone out here? Really alone?
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the only home we have left. Returning to Earth is no longer an option. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
Really? Wow. That's heavy.
Yes, you're right. The road is long, and we haven't a moment to waste. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds. And then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
I'm gonna do what I've always done. Whatever I want. Anytime, whenever I want.
I doubt I could change your mind even if I wanted to. You've already done more than I could ask of you. When I revived you, I thought we were going to save this colony all by ourselves. But I was wrong. We can't save Halcyon on our own. We're all going to have to pull together, somehow. We are not a colony anymore. Our last connection to Earth has been severed. I don't know if we'll survive, but we're going to have to try our best.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment she landed in Emerald Vale, her actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Sanjar's civil liberties and worker-centric policies were slow to catch on with the other corporations. But as Halcyon began its long, arduous journey toward recovery, many of Terra 2's smaller townships started adopting MSI's alternative corporate structure, and eventually became entirely self-sufficient. In the coming years, many of these townships managed to eke by, where otherwise they might have starved. Sublight Salvage adapted to the changes in Halcyon, shifting their business model to suit the times. Their claims of legitimacy were scrutinized, but ultimately unquestioned. Lilia Hagen would continue to protect her family as ruthlessly as ever. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. It was said that the first corpse that fed her garden belonged to Reed Thompson. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers, schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the Lifetime Employment Program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name. And in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. As hard as she tried to drink them away, Nyoka's memories eventually overcame her. Traveling with the crew served as a constant reminder of the family she'd lost, and so she eventually returned to Monarch to get back to what she found most comfortable: the deep end of a bottle and the far end of a trail. Few have seen her since, but travelers often swear they hear her and her machine gun in the night, screaming swears and spitting bullets. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. Chairman Rockwell served as the public face for the changes in Halcyon to come. Whenever you needed strings pulled or a voice to sell a policy change, Rockwell was only too happy to oblige.
Kind of revolution.
As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. Though he was always haunted by the failures of his past, he was determined to make things right by building toward the future. The revival project was hard and painful work, but in the end, despite limited resources, over half the Hope's colonists were successfully revived. Even after Wells passed away, the Hope scientists and engineers worked night and day to pull Halcyon from the brink of collapse. Their efforts continue to this day, which may be reason enough for optimism. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Life will never be the same in Halcyon. It is widely agreed that the colony has a chance of stabilizing within a generation, owing to the hard work and determination of the surviving colonists. Recovery is a distant goal, and the path is long and uncertain. But the people of Halcyon carry on, determined as ever. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus, and left Dr. Wells to his own devices. The affairs of the colony never distracted you from living out your own dreams, to captain a ship, to sail the ether, and to earn a reputation as the greatest spacer Halcyon ever had.
Hell yeah.
No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Has a good score. I enjoy the music and the way it sounds. Good job, everyone who worked on this. Here is your credit. Great work, John Rudd. John Rudd. Enjoy the music. And everybody else too. Great game overall. Ooh, I wonder what happens when you continue now. Oh. Wait. No, okay. I see what they do. Alright. How are we gonna start a new game? Why the fork not?
Why stay earthbound when prosperity awaits you in the stars? Come to Halcyon, the only colony on the edge of the frontier, owned and operated by corporations. A trip of 10 short years will feel like mere minutes, thanks to the comfort and safety of your very own hibernation chamber. You'll wake up in a perfect society designed to maximize your productivity with guaranteed full employment. With only a minor term of service, you will become the master of your own destiny when you go out of this world to the Halcyon colony.
Hundreds of thousands of colonists left adrift out here forever, just to keep from damaging the board's bottom line. Disgraceful. You memorized how many digits of pi? Nothing gets past you. You would have made a formidable constable. I hope we haven't lost that silver tongue to frostbite. You could probably talk your way out of a landing ticket. Ah, a fellow tinkerer.
This one's always kind of difficult. No discernible aptitude.
How degrading.
These are all pretty rough jobs, I guess. Play a dude this time. These randomizers are great. Mohawks. There we go. Oh man, it doesn't fit. Dad. Going with Dad. Alright. Strength. This is just a review. Just
Looks to me your lucky day, my friend. Not likely, bootlickers. Initiate skip jump.
Let this chair explode.
Ah, there you are. Wondering what's going on, eh? A bit of bad news there, I'm afraid. Your colony ship was
Inexplicably knocked out of skip space and forced to complete its journey at sublight speeds. This means that you and every other colonist on the Hope have been in suspended animation for 70 years, give or take. Normally, reviving someone after so long leads to some quite horrifying results. It's called explosive cell death, but it's really more of a liquefaction. Something wrong? Oh, yes, well, not to worry. I've pumped your body full of a special concoction I devised to keep you from dying so horrifically. Hopefully at all, but I guess we'll see, yes? Unfortunately, I used the last of my chemical supplies saving you. I know it's a lot to ask, but I must have your help securing more if we're to save the rest of your fellow colonists. I'd see it done myself, of course, but the board has a sizable bounty on my head. Now, my ship is inoperative, but I've managed to hire a smuggler to help you out. He'll be... Oh, I see we're in position. Good luck!
Can you hear me? Is this thing working? Ah, there you are. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, the smuggler. His name is Hawthorne, and he should be waiting for you at the landing site. He's to be your chauffeur, so to speak. Not to worry, I'm told he's a specialist. Dashing gunslinger, one-of-a-kind ship, that sort of thing. You'll like him, I'm sure. I've also outfitted you with a simple wireless monitor, so I can track your progress. I'll check in with you as soon as you land. Good luck. All the colonists are counting on you.
Should be close by. What in law's name? Is that him? Oh, that idiot. I told him to plant the beacon and move away, not stand there holding it. Oh well, no sense in letting his ship go to waste. Hawthorne won't mind you taking his ship. Better you than the board, huh? Not sure I trusted the fellow. Might have gone after the bounty on my head. Shame about the whole squashing thing. Nasty way to go. Easy now. You've been frozen for a while. There's bound to be unforeseen side effects.
Hey, you. Come here. You've tried the best now. Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, law, that stings.
Well, okay, so I'll patch you up.
Looks like the bleeding stopped. I owe you one. Hope you don't mind me omitting this little exchange from my report. Spacer's Choice doesn't like us accepting outside help.
What happened to you?
We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take him. Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? Just barely scraped by with my life. Crawled in here and blocked off the exit with those canisters.
You're hiding in a cave and you blocked off the exit. You're as good as dead.
Spacer's Choice policy clearly stipulates that dead and as good as dead are two completely different properties of matter. Unless I'm dead, I'm contractually obligated to attend to my post. I will report that illegally grounded spacecraft if it is the last thing I do. See those canisters by the entrance? Marauders come sniffing around in here, and I can take them all out with a single shot. Not bad, huh?
You're an idiot. Give me your gun before you get yourself killed.
Yeah, you sound a lot like my lieutenant. Here, hope this gun serves you better than it did me. Here, you can have my saber too, for patching me up and all. All Spacer's Choice weapons are now 30% less likely to malfunction. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's Choice. Yes, nailed it that time.
You tell me where I am?
You hit your head or something? You're in Emerald Vale. We're a Spacer's Choice community. Edgewater's a little ways down. Prettiest place in the Vale. Be sure to stop by a provisioner's for a can of our famous salt tuna.
Know anything about the Hope?
The Hope? Is that some sort of fancy new drug? Are you with Auntie Cleo or something? Don't take this the wrong way or nothing, but I'm not allowed to fraternize with Cleo workers. Company policy.
I'm off.
Damn it, my ears! Oh, what just happened? Can you hear me? What in the hell?
Shot his arms and legs off. It's impressive. This way I might have fewer dudes, so it's the same thing. Oh, you can't just climb along the walls, huh? Okay, well, I'm okay. I just forget I put head in the grass.
Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. Call on that rung leech. Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad. I'd slap him with a fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about.
So I heard, found one of your teammates holed up in a cave.
Really? How is he?
Still a moron. Hoping you're a little brighter.
Of course I am. I'm a superior officer. Stands to reason, don't it?
No.
Just you watch. I'll cross these marauders off with a swift, cost-efficient fury that's made Spacer's Choice the most trusted brand in personal defense. I just, you know, need a couple of winks to catch my breath. Stretch my legs, son.
My dog needs to go outside. I guess I'll have to give you a 0 on my customer satisfaction survey.
Seriously? But those marauders will... Ugh. You know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders off, find whoever owns that ship, and file a full report. And it's gonna be fucking laminated.
Here we go.
Please be informed that this vessel contains no valuable plunder. Hello, Marauder. I am Ada, the autonomous digital astrogator of this vessel. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction.
What are you gonna do? Self-destruct?
Gesture procedures initiated. Please engage in airlocks. Prepare to reject all boarding parties in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's supposed to be happening?
You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express disappointment.
I need to get this ship in the air.
I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne.
I thought we were supposed to meet me when I landed.
I deduce from the tone of your voice that Captain Hawthorne failed to meet you at the designated location.
Marauders killed him.
I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand?
I get it. You need me to be Captain Hawthorne or you can't fly.
Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact. Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced.
Die to find a part like that just sitting in a garage.
Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty. High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new Captain's Identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand?
Yeah, Ada, I got it. Thanks.
Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
Yep.
The navigation console is offline at this time, Captain.
I know, you mentioned that.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, mister, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay.
Take down payments and wanton violence. Yo. Where'd your body go? Show me your baddie.
Whoa, hey. Don't go ambling out in those hills. That's Marauder territory, friend. You talk too pretty for a Marauder. Most of them just grunt and yell. Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls. And low prices.
Nice to meet you. I'm Alex Hawthorne, Captain of the Unreliable.
Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all...
Place looking like it's falling to pieces.
Heard a lot of new workers say that. First time they set eyes on Edgewater, they'll say, well, I can't work here. I don't belong here. Well, we do belong here. The Spacer's Choice family takes care of us from the cradle to the grave. As long as we provide our own cradles.
And graves. We're talking about a power regulator.
Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure.
No shit, Sherlock.
If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery.
That guy's a dickhead.
Head into town, follow the road.
Alright. Edgewater.
I've got some time.
What's your
Oh,
deal?
I'm an actuary. That means I keep tabs on a worker's living expenses. How much it costs to feed, clothe, shelter, bury, and replace your average human worker. Technically, I'm employed by the Spacer's Choice Department of Human Resources.
That's a weird NPC. I guess good for exposition in the game. Explaining the ambiance. It was kind of weird. That's a steal. We see Reed Thompson, cocksucker extraordinaire.
The grease monkey, Argo? Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
I'll wait till you're finished.
You were saying, Miss Holcomb.
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and what all, but she's just old. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll do better.
And I do wish you'd stop referring to our cannery as Bess. Personification of company property is strictly contrary to the Spacer's Choice Code of Conduct. My apologies. I am not in the habit of allowing my guests to witness such a row. Now, what can I do for you?
You Reed? Was told I should talk to you.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform.
I think you may have the wrong idea about me.
Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
My ship needs room. No, wait. We're gonna go with the other one. I don't plan on staying long.
I understand. Your business is your own. Nonetheless, you are welcome in our little outpost. Outsiders are a rare sight in the Vale. If you are a freelancer, then I have use for you. There is pay to be earned, or supplies to tide you over, as you prefer.
My ship needs repairs. I'm looking for a power regulator.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Let me guess. You want me to do something for you before you'll help me?
My proposition benefits the both of us. Please, hear me out. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
That's a lot to ask of a stranger.
You're the first stranger to wander into town in an age. Scripture tells us that nothing happens without reason.
Do a man of faith read?
I do not attend the good vicar's sermons as often as I should, but yes, I am a scientician, born and raised. And my faith tells me that hard work and difficulty fortify our spirit. Well, this is hard work I ask of you, but there is a reward at the end of it.
Before I make any promises, is there anything you're not telling me?
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
What a surprise. Never would have guessed.
I am not trying to pull one over on you, friend. You were bound to run into them sooner or later. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home.
If you want me to solve your deserter problem, I charge by the head.
Good law, no, I don't want you killing anyone, least of all them. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
Can't make any promises.
Of course, I understand completely. Here, let me give you the passcode to the geothermal plant. A sign of good faith, for so politely listening to me as I ramble on.
Are you setting off for the Vale? Because I know my way around. I mean, in case you want a guide. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you.
Sure.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Let's get out of here. That's right, I open that later.
Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. Can we talk?
Not in the elevator.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
If I wanted to deal with nuance, I wouldn't be this heavily armed. Let's move. Yeah, I know. Alright, I'll go pick up where I left off. Tomorrow. Calling quits for tonight. Thanks for watching, nobody. Bye-bye.